I am so excited today to be joined by the one and only Bob the Drag Queen. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Now, first off, happy belated birthday. I know that you were celebrating
Yeah.
yesterday.
You. Thank you.
And I know that's not the only thing that you're celebrating right now because We're Here was just renewed for a second season. How excited are you about this news?
Well, it was really exciting news, especially when they called and told us. And I kind of just couldn't believe. Well, not that I couldn't believe it, but it just seemed. It feels surreal to be a part of a project like this. Um, even though I see this for myself, and I've always seen things like this for myself, it still is shocking when it happens.
Yeah. Well, and I think that such a special part of the show was getting to see you and Eureka and Shangela go to these smaller towns and really spread a new perspective to people that hadn't necessarily been exposed to this culture before.
Well, that's the thing. The interesting, they have been exposed to it, but they were just discrediting it because it was local. So a lot of people were like, well, you realize like we're not shipping people. We're not the queers who are in these towns. We didn't ship them into the towns. We found them in the towns. You know what I mean? So, but because we are really loud, we have fans, we have cameras, and we have a lot of followers on social media. Our voices are louder than the people in the communities who share stories like ours. So we amplify their voices with ours.
Hmm. Well, and I think that that really ties in a lot to what's going on in the country today. I definitely want to give you the opportunity to talk about what's happening with all of these protests because I know that you've been using your platform, especially your Twitter, to amplify other Black voices and to really speak out. Why do you think that's so important to be vocal about this?
Well, I am proud of it. And one of the proudest things I've ever done in my life was me and Peppermint started Black Queer Town Hall, which was a 3-day event that just wrapped up this past Sunday. And we had so many great names in Laverne Cox, MJ Rodriguez, Todrick Hall, Monet Exchange, Evie Oddly, Jada Essence Hall, Heidi in Closet. I mean, I could literally be listening to Late Ashley, Teak Milan, Basit, Alex Newell. I could be here all day. Frenchie Davis naming, and Dr. Angela Davis. I mean, naming all the Black queers who joined this event. And it really, I think, is important because representation matters. And I know how much it meant for me to see someone who I related to on TV. And it felt like I was seeing myself on TV. So their successes felt like my successes.
Mhm. Well, and you've also been using your platform through your podcast. I'm a big fan of Sibling Rivalry. I love hearing you and Monet. And you guys haven't been afraid to tackle these tough subjects. I mean, the last few episodes have all revolved around what's happening right now.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like made an intentional decision to make it because we film our podcast because we both get really busy. We decided to take this time to film a lot of podcasts. So we had a lot of content that wasn't about any of this stuff, um, or we call it evergreen. And we were just ready to post. But in the moment's notice, we were like, we need to record a podcast like that is specifically for this week and make it about this. Um, and it feels pretty good, to be honest. And it feels good to be honest about those things.
Yeah. Well, and I think especially during now we're in Pride Month and there's such a focus on intersectionality and really not only amplifying these Black voices, but making sure that we're amplifying Black queer voices during this time. And it's been such a different time, especially being in quarantine. What does it feel like to be celebrating Pride during all of this?
Well, I want to start by saying I am trying to amplify Black queer voices and specifically Black trans voices and super specifically Black trans women, because they are our most targeted demographic within our demographic within our demographic. So I'm Black, queer, trans. So like within all these demographics, they are extremely targeted. And celebrating Pride in quarantine, I mean, it feels in line with the rest of quarantine. So if it was at the beginning of quarantine, I probably would have been like, this is insane. But after 3 months, it's really started to feel pretty standard to be indoors. I mean, I haven't left my house to do anything besides get groceries, to go to I went to Monet Exchange's apartment. Um, to do anything besides those things in 3 months, and it's starting to feel really standard. It's kind of alarming at how I've adjusted to it so quickly.
Mm-hmm. um, no, I also do want to bring up, because something that I'm looking forward to watching during quarantine is your comedy special.
Oh, thank you.
Can you talk about what you're excited about for people to see from this comedy special?
So Bob the Drag Queen at Caroline's I'm really proud of this special because it just, I produced it myself. I was the producer on that, which was really amazing. I produced my first special as well. And I really wanted this one to be in a legit comedy club. My first one was actually in a nightclub that we turned into a theater. And this was actually in a comedy club. And I was really proud of that. And the content itself is like, is told from such a unique perspective, not unique to me, but like it is from the Black queer perspective. And when people write me and tell me they relate to it, people who have Southern Black moms write me and say, "Oh my goodness, that chunk, the whole bit about your mom is so true." And then that feels, I like that feeling.
Yeah.
You
What
know,
is
in
it?
interviews, I try because I sit like this in chairs a lot, but I realize in an interview it looks so unprofessional. Put your knee in in the shot. So
You
whenever
want
I'm
me to
like,
sit like that too? I will.
so I'm like, wait, don't put your knee in the shot because it look. So I'm trying to. I had to say out loud that that's the behavior I'm fighting on this day.
No, it's weird doing interviews in this context. I know when I chatted with Jaida Essence Hall, she made me stand up to prove that I was wearing pants for our interview.
Well, if you hadn't been, that would have been really uncomfortable.
Thank God. Now, I do want to ask you about, in comedy, you're really entering this field. Well, not just entering. You've been on the scene for a while, but you're in this field that feels like it's been so like white male dominated for so long. What does it feel like to be a different voice in this and to be presenting that unique perspective?
Well, it's interesting. When I go to comedy clubs, I get a lot of responses from other comedians who are like, "Oh, wow, you're actually funny." And I guess they thought because I walked in a dress that I was gonna, I don't know, honestly, I don't know what they thought. And it is predominantly by men, and specifically white men, who are like the kings of comedy. And I'm also, to be honest, like I am happy that people are now being taken to task for their problematic jokes that they've been making. And I've made problematic jokes in the past, and I take myself to task for those as well. But also, what I find most alarming is that a lot of comedians are still doing that. Like they are still telling these problematic jokes. Like Dave Chappelle has his entire bit around trans women, and just basically saying that he just can't stop laughing at trans people. And I'm so alarmed that that is okay in our community.
Mm-hmm. Well, and so many comedians are also being taken to task about doing blackface in recent years, which I know obviously.
Jimmy Kimmel, Sarah Silverman, the Prime Minister of Canada. Let's get it out of comedians. The Prime
Yeah.
Minister of Canada, YouTubers. What's the kid's name? The YouTuber everyone loves. The one who does the documentaries on YouTube. Anyway, him. He did a whole thing with Jeffree Star. He's like this
Oh,
big
Shane
YouTube.
Dawson.
Shane Dawson, that's the one. He's done blackface. And I think that, here's the thing. Like if someone's like, but it was in the past, why can't you let it go? But I'm intrigued by someone saying, like, why can't you let it go? Like, if you did it, and I had to turn on my TV and my computer and see it, you get to do it in the past, but now you want me to never mention it again. Now people think that I should stop talking about it, even though I have to keep seeing it, even though it keeps popping up on my screen. You want me to like squish the silence because it takes away your ability to enjoy this content guilt-free. So that's what it boils down to. You're mad that you can't enjoy the content guilt-free because I keep reminding you that these people did blackface.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Um, Now I do want to change the subject to a little bit lighter of a tone, because you know that I can't let you leave without chatting about RuPaul's Drag Race and getting
Of course,
some opinion.
I love RuPaul's Drag Race.
Now, I just chatted with Ms. Cracker a couple weeks ago. She's having a really great turn on All Stars this season. Can I ask which queens you are most rooting for this season?
But I really enjoy Miss Cracker and I really enjoy Shea Coulee. I think that these two are undeniable, especially in this moment. Shea Coulee, with where we're at in the program right now. I mean, she's just doing a really good job, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. And I also know that you had a great reaction to seeing Jaida Essence Hall snatch the crown for the last season. How did it feel to see Jaida win?
It felt good, you know, especially I watched like an Instagram live that went kind of viral of her talking about what it would mean to win. And then you have to realize that when it comes to the crown, it is about what you do in the final episode, but it's also about everything you've done in the season leading up to that. And it's also about what you will do with the crown once you have it. And after hearing her speak about it, I was like, this is it. She's the winner. She deserves it. She needs this.
Yeah. Yeah, she was, I know a couple days before I chatted with her and she was like, could you even imagine if I won? I can't. And 2 days
Well, now she doesn't have to imagine
it. Well, Bob,
I'm honored to be able to welcome Jaida Essence Hall into the winner's circle. You know, being on Drag Race is an elite sorority within the drag community. And being a winner of RuPaul's Drag Race is a super elite sorority within the elite sorority. And I'm just happy that she's a soror.
Well, Bob, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with me. I am so excited for everything that you have coming up. You're really on fire lately.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
So thank you so much and happy belated again.
Of course, my pleasure.